Well guys, welcome back to another Scrapping Irish video, and as you can see for this one I have a Apple iMac to take apart. I'm going to take it apart. I think it's the first Apple iMac I've ever taken apart, believe it or not. Apple wouldn't be the most popular computer in Ireland. People were going for just the more regular Windows computers, but I've come across this one. So what am I going to do with it? Take it apart, of course. What else am I going to do? I think E-Waste Mike would have taken a lot of these apart back in a while back, maybe a couple of months back in the videos. He got a lot of these, and I think he took them all apart. So sorry if you've already seen that video. So you kind of know what's in here already. But for me, I haven't taken one apart, so I'm going to try and take one apart. Again, not really fond of Apple stuff because of all the hidden screws and how hard they make it for people to take it apart. But we'll give it a go anyhow. So please, if you don't mind, you could always hit that like button. So where am I going to start? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with this cable. And does it just pull apart? No, pulls apart. I already have it apart. So there we go. That was easy. So we have the cable. We can cut off the ends, put our plugs into our collection of plugs for plug soup at some stage. So we will hopefully at some stage get some plug soup going. So that plug can go in there for the plug soup, and we can take off the end. Again, there will be a little bit of brass in there. So if you want to hold on to it and try and get that brass out, which I will do at some stage. Okay, so we just have some insulated cable that we can put away. Now, next I'm going to try and see how can I remove, or how does it remove. Let me get a flathead screwdriver and we'll see, can we just pop anything off? Does anything pop off? Again, there probably is an easier way to do this, but I just do it by brute force anymore. I'm not worried about trying to do it perfect because it's going for scrap. That will be aluminium, which is good. We'll have a nice chunk of aluminium there anyhow. Let's turn this around here. Maybe I should have watched Mike's videos a bit closer and I would have known how he took this apart. So that's aluminium as well. Going around there. Let's go back to the front. Back to the front. And see if we can see if there's anywhere here to remove. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it there. I'm going to have a right look and see where can we remove. This is the worst of taking these apples apart. No visible screws. Looks like it's just been all pressed together, but obviously there's a way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it there, and besides looking out over the top of the camera, because you can see me here over the camera, I'm going to move the camera and see, can I figure out what's the easiest way to do this. Okay, so after having a quick look around it, I found one screw, which is here, and maybe that releases something that releases this stand, because that's all I can think you can do. So we'll try and get in around the camera, and we'll try and take that screw out. Sorry about my fingers in the way, so you can't see what's really happening, but again, the position of the camera and the screw doesn't help. So, let's see, can we focus? Focus. No, ain't gonna focus, so we'll try, there we go. So you can see the screw is spinning anyhow, so, but it don't seem to be coming out, so that is a pain. We have a screw that is spinning, but not coming out, so that's going to be no fun. And I don't think it's that long of a screw that it's going to take this much effort to unscrew it. Damn you, Apple. No, that ain't coming out. So let me get a magnet or something. Maybe a magnet might be able to pull that screw out. It might be loose enough and we get a magnet and we can try and see with a magnet. Oh, there we go. So not as hard as we thought. So we have that screw taken out and there was a little clip on it which made it a little bit harder, a circlip. So there we go. I just see that is aluminium, it's not sticking. And again, everything else is aluminium. So again, what has that done? Not a lot by the looks of it. So I'm going to change the angle of the camera and we can see if we can try and get this stand off if I can. So let's change the angle. Okay, so we're back up here. So I'm going to see what we can have a look. This stand is really annoying me. I'd almost just cut it off with a grinder at this stage. But we won't. Let's have a look in here. So what have we in there? It looks like we have ram sticks in there. So let's see if we have. It doesn't want to come out, whatever's in there. So again, if I wasn't doing a video, I'd have this broken off by now with a hammer, because that's the way I kind of would do something like this. If I can't find the screws, I would get a hammer and just start laying into it. But because I'm doing a video, can't be doing that and having bits flying all over the place. So we'll go back to my screwdriver, my trusty flathead, and then we're going to see if we can pop some stuff off here, which we seem to be doing. So now now that has popped the screen up a bit, so it looks like we can maybe slide this out, which it looks like we're able to do. There we go. So I'm gonna try and get that screwdriver again, and we're gonna go a bit more on this side. If I can get this corner out, we should be able to remove it from the frame. I'm hoping. There we go. So I don't want to break the screen completely and have glass everywhere. So there we go. So was there a screw up here? I don't see one. So looks like this just comes off. But I see there is like screws wire through here, so that means that, well, while we're at it, I might as well remove this plastic. So there we go, just a piece of plastic, protective over the screen. Had started to oxidize, so a bit of liquid damage. Now we can see some screws now, so we should be able to remove them. So we're getting somewhere. We get the right screwdriver, and I'm going to zoom us in a bit so we get a closer look at this. Okay, so these are torque heads, so we'll try and zoom you in a bit. So you can see here we have our torque head screws, so we'll remove them and see will that help us out in getting this cover completely off. Hopefully it will. Sorry guys, you can't see me doing it over in the corner, but there is screws over here as well. So we're just taking them off in the corners, and hopefully this will release. So we have them little torque heads off, so let's zoom back out and hopefully we can get this to remove, which we did. So there we go. So get my magnet wherever I threw that, because it was in my way, so we just throw it. And of course it gets stuck on all the screwdrivers around me. So this should be a nice piece of aluminium, except for here where we have a little bit of steel up here, which is weird why they'd have a steel, but I bet it's yeah, there we go, so I can see why. So obviously this was held on with magnets as well, so we'll have to knock off those magnets before you try and sell this for clean aluminium. So again guys, remember, have a look, take off them. So you can see there we've got a piece of steel that the magnets are sticking to, so remove them. Are they magnetic or are they, yeah, so it's actually a magnet, because you can see there it's taking them in, and again just remove them, and that way then you get your best value for your aluminium. So while we're at it and we have the screwdriver, might as well remove this. And of course round is rounded. Right, so where to now? Having a look at the actual sides, we have more screws here, so we might as well remove them, because I'm sure this is what's holding in the screen, and we can get the screen off, and then we'll be able to see what type of board is in here, or is there anything really worth for gold recovery. Well, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's going to be some IC chips. I see there's 2 sticks of RAM, and I'm sure there's a processor in here. So, and if we're lucky, we'll have a hard drive and possibly a nice CPU, hopefully, but maybe not when it's Apple. So anywhere I see screws, we're just going to try and remove them now, and hopefully at a later date that will save us a lot of hassle. So again, so as I was saying, this is the first time I've taken one of these apart, and again, I see why some people don't take them apart and some people just sell as is to someone who might buy it as a whole item off them or whatever. But again, as I always say, I don't have that luxury to be able to sell any of my e-waste unless I want to sell it for shred price, which I ain't going to do. So of course I'm going to break it down as best I can. And again, shred is always, or not just shred, but scrap is going to be the lowest value e-waste, or lowest value of an item anyhow, so remember that. So there was obviously screws that I had to take off a little cover, I'm sure, and I went and being the animal about it, just broke it off. But again, it was going to be scrap, so it didn't make a difference to me. Like every other computer or every other item that Apple have, they like to put plenty of screws in. So I'm wondering, have I got everything? Will this screen pop up? Okay, so we just have one that I missed, which is over here. So, well, two. So one there and one here. So this should allow me now to get this screen off. I'm hoping. Yes, it does. So I'm sure we have a few ribbons that need to be removed. So little connectors. And we have our screen coming off. So again, just some connectors that need to be taken off from the screen. So again, we get a closer look here. So we can see there is some sort of board under here. So we might as well, while we have the screen here, have a look and see what we have. So if we can just remove these protective If we remove wherever we see the tape, hopefully we can get access to it. But again, we have a lot of screws here, so I should, like every other monitor or LCD screen, we should have a finger strip with some gold flashed on it. Of course, there's a hidden screw under there, so I'm presuming there's another one here somewhere. Sorry guys for hitting the camera. Again, I'm leaning over it and it is making it awkward. Just some sticky filament that was there. Okay, so we've done that. Might as well take this one off if we can. Again, this is the same as you'd see in a laptop, essentially, is this inverter or whatever they call it. I don't know what the right name for this is, but it's what you'd see usually in a laptop. So they have it in here. Now, let's see if we can get a right size screwdriver and take off these while we're at it. So again, we're just removing as much as we can. So this is kind of giving you a real-time scrap out for a change. Usually I'd speed things up, but we'll do a real-time scrap out and see how long it does take if you don't use a hammer and just smash stuff out. So we have two little clips here. And another one, third one up here. Okay, so we have just some connectors that we just take off or pull off or whatever. There we go. Again, probably someone will say, "Oh, you can get so much on eBay for one of them, blah blah blah." I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in the scrap. I'm not doing this for a living, I'm doing it as a hobby. So it's more looking for gold recovery material and stuff like that. So again, you can see a little bit of a gold flashed fuse here on here. I think that's a fuse they call that. Again, and we have some MLCCs. Depending on the age of this, they will be either containing silver or they could be worthless. So I collect them all up and process them all in one go. Right, so we might as well, while we're here, remove these and take off the fingerboard. So, because I'm presuming that's what's under here. And then the monitor, that's all I take off. So I don't bother scrapping down any further on these. Is that a screw? No. And over here, we have another one. So I'm hoping that under here we will have our fingerboard. Yes, we do. So there's our fingerboard. So do we have a screw somewhere holding this? Don't see a screw. So there we go. There's our fingerboard. So again, we'll just take that off. So we have a nice little bit of gold flashing straight away along here, and then along here again we have gold flashing. So I'll just show you there a bit closer so you can see the gold flashing. If you remove that underneath there, again it will be gold flashed under there. That's just where it was stuck on these little tabs under here. So put that in with your fingerboards and stuff like that. If you're selling to Board Sort, check with them and see what they give you. Again, some nice lot of MLCCs. So got a few MLCCs on this so far, which is nice to add to the collection. And we have our IC again, flat pack IC chip, and that's about it. So we can put that aside because that's as far as I go with this. So that's put aside. And now we can bring forward the main body of this computer. So as I can see already, we have a hard drive, which is nice. We have some RAM, which is up here. So we have some RAM there. This is I don't know what that is, so we'll have a look when we get that broken down further. We have our disk drive there, our optical drive. So I suppose anywhere we see screws, might as well start taking them out. So let me get my torque again. That's a bigger torque, so we're going to have to look for another torque. And these are all bigger torques, I think. Yeah, so I'm just going to change and get a different torque for these. Okay, so we have the bigger torque, so let's start removing anywhere we see screws. And hopefully we will get this tore down. So Okay, so good job I speeded that up a bit, or it's a long enough video as it is, but it'll be twice as long. Let me tell you that much, the amount of screws that was in there to take out. So what am I left with? Well, first off, we've some aluminium. And again, a nice piece of aluminium here. So not too bad, we get that to start off with. You've already seen the inverter board and the finger strip for the screen, so that's there. Then we have our main board, so let me chip that off. So on the main board, well, we have a gold corner VGA. Again, we have some crystal oscillators, MLCCs. Let me zoom you in a bit there to give you a better view. Here we go. Ooh, let's go again. There we go. So let me get behind the camera so I can see as well. So as I said, we have some MLCCs lying around the board, and again, the main thing there is the gold corner VGA. And on the underside, again, nothing major on here. We'd have a connector in here which possibly could have gold on it, but I don't think that one has. I think that was just the power supply was connected in there, so that's not gold in here. Again, if you can see down there, I don't know, can you? Can you actually see down into there? But there is gold flash pins in there, so that's, and you can see them here a bit on the underside as well. They're gold flashed in there. A flip chip, a waste of time. Gold flashed in here. Other than that, nothing major. We'll have some gold flashing in here in these connections. So again, you can take them off and you get your gold flash pin. Again, we have some more aluminium copper heat sinks. So a nice piece of aluminium or copper in there. So if you can remove that, you have a nice little piece of aluminium or copper. Keeps in aluminium, copper. And then we have aluminium with some copper. So you might get, see what your yard will give you for that. And again, the same here, a nice plate of copper there. So that's on there. Main board we've done already. Few peripheral boards. So again, we have gold pins on there, gold flash pins. So that can be treated the same as you would your RAM chip, RAM sticks. Cut them off, put them in the copper chloride and release the gold fingers or gold flakes and process them whenever you're doing your gold recovery that way. So that can be put aside. On this one, again, what have we here? Nothing major. I don't see anything really, just an MLCC up here in the corner. Few MLCCs, few tantalums, but nothing major. On the other side, a few flat pack ICs and MLCCs. Possibly gold flashed in there. Again, that could be just brass, but could be gold flashed. Bit of steel, I think that's steel. Where's my magnet? And we'll go, maybe aluminium. It would be nice if it was. Another bit of aluminium. All adds up. So let's see. It is actually aluminium. Well, no, it's a bit of magnetic to it. So stainless steel, I'd be thinking that's a stainless steel. There, it's magnetic, really magnetic up here. So that's because there's a little pin in here, which is probably steel, but the rest of it then seems to be stainless steel because it's not holding on to the magnet. So remove that, a little piece of stainless steel. Good, it could be aluminium. Once that's removed, might be no magnetic at all to it. So double check that by removing the pin. 2 RAM sticks. So we have 2 1 gig RAM sticks. Is it 1 gigabyte? Yeah. PC2. So again, I just take the gold fingers off there and take the chips, and they'll be processed for gold recovery. A processor, which was a, let's have a look and see what you are. You are a Intel. Intel, that's all I'm getting on it. And 6M, a 1066. Anyone know what that was? Let me know. So again, I'll be taking off the gold pins, getting the gold from them. We have another peripheral card. So again, we've got gold flashed on it. So I'll be taking the gold fingers off there, taking off the RAM chips. They're the same as what you'd have usually on your RAM chips. And on the underside, nothing really there, to be honest. A few MLCCs, and that's about it. Power board. So again, you can take off your copper if you want, your aluminium, or you can just throw them in with your, see if your yard will give you a price on power boards, what they'll give you for power board. CD-ROM or optical drive. So again, you can strip them down. Some will have a board inside with a little bit of gold flashing on it, maybe a IC chip on it. So it's up to yourself what you do with that. And we have, of course, a hard drive. So again, you can take it off the board. Some people take the board, sell them to Board Sort if you're in the US. If not, I just remove them pins. There'll be a chip on the underside. Again, a little bit of gold flashing here on the ribbon wire, and your coarse aluminium in the hard drive cover itself. So all in all, guys, a bit longer video than normal. For a while, don't think I've gone over this amount of time, but sorry about that. It's just once I started scrapping, I just said I'd carry on. Took a while to figure out how to get into that one. First time ever scrapping out one of them. So thanks for bearing with me as always. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you like, and catch you on the next one. As always, hopefully we'll find something good the next time. Wasn't too bad actually for a bit of work to it, but again, I wouldn't have gone to all that trouble of all them screws. If I wasn't doing a video, I would have just smashed it open anyway at all, just to get the access to the boards, because again, I'm not selling the boards. I'm going to be breaking them down even more, micro scrapping them down. So it wouldn't matter to me what way the boards came out. They don't have to come out in one piece. But for the video, I've done it this way. So until next one, guys, keep on looking for that gold. Appreciate you taking the time to watch, and don't forget, check us out in lives on Sunday. Shark Scrapper is on at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm on directly after him. So catch you all hopefully on the Sunday lives. Take care. Bye bye.